did rain a little bit. It actually just stopped as I got up here. I felt a little bit. Bring your towels.
Texted me as I was climbing the ladder. Oh, I did. So.
I didn't see you up yet. That's why I was like, you're wearing a shirt. Catch any of last night's game?
The middle part, end part, the part where you slandered my good name.
Yeah, I'm glad you caught that. Hello and welcome to One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas. We're all set for Game 2 of the SCAC Conference Series between the Trinity University Tigers and the Southwestern University Pirates. And you see the Pirates lineup on your screen. Connor Duffy will lead things off as designated hitter. James Vaccaro follows him as the catcher. Wyatt Kulo at first base. Christian Melillo in left field, followed by Trace Organ at second. Jordan Coronado in right field. Third baseman Tanner Tefts following him. Logan Wilson out in center, who had some nice plays yesterday. And then Ben Foyer at short to round things out for the Pirates. And on the mound, it will be Jake Beck for the Tigers. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. I'm Cole Isaacson, joined alongside Reed Rosales. And Reed, welcome back. Game 2. Good day to be on the roof.
It is a good day to be on the roof. Cloudy skies, the sun's not beating down on us. It's not too hot. It's a great day for a game of baseball, I'd say.
See Jake Beck's numbers on your screen. A 1-1 record, a 3.8 ERA, 23 innings pitched change, 21 strikeouts, 8 walks. So we're about set to go in this one. He'll pitch to Connor Duffy, a 300-plus hitter on the year with over a 900 OPS. First pitch coming eventually. Beck will step off first. It looks like Lazera might be having some issues, you would assume, with PitchCom. That's usually what it is.
Yeah, I can see him putting something near his ear right now. Of course, that pauses the pitch clock, so they don't have to worry about running that down.
Yeah, he'd be pretty far over at this point if that were still going. So we're ready to go. The signal to reset the pitch clock has been given. Duffy will step in. First pitch in San Antonio, and we're underway with strike one. Connor Duffy led off last night's game as well. The 0-1 fouled off, top of the screen, 0-2. Began the game with a strikeout. Also walked twice. Southwestern scored in the top of the first inning last night, trying to do something similar today. Pitch misses away from Beck, the count 1-2. Pirates got out to a 3-1 lead in that game last night, but the Tigers came roaring back, eventually taking a 9-3 lead. They would win 9-5, trying to secure a series victory today. This is kind of blooped to shortstop Chapness, who throws in time. A nice, strong throw from Chapness to get out number one.
A great first play of the game for Camp Champness. I appreciated the patience he showed in the field, knowing that he had confidence in his arm to get it to first. You could see on your screen right there, nice close-up shot. He caught it. He was out at first.
We'll bring up James Vaquero. Takes a pitch outside, ball one. Vaquero, 2 hits in last night's game. His average now at .430 on the season. Very, very impressive from the number 2 hitter for Southwestern. Mentioned it in last night's game, sitting at career hit mark 197. Ball in the dirt, 2-0. So just needs 3 hits in these next 2 games to get to the 200 mark. Vaquero steps out of the box and now back in. A 2-0 count facing the starter Beck. Fouled off the end of the bat, looping out of play and harmlessly onto the roof of the batting cage.
It's one of those things, Cole, where even teams that aren't having the greatest of years in conference like Southwestern, there are some key pieces on that Pirates team that is dangerous no matter who they face, and Vaquero, one of a couple for the Pirates.
1-2 from Beck, swing and a miss. And I guess that was not 1-2, despite what the scoreboard said. It was weird. It was 2-0 before. You thought it was going to be 2-1. Scoreboard changes, and I guess it's 2-2 now. So it is 2-2. Get the confirmation from the umpire. Pitch outside from Beck, and now the count is full.
That would be big for Beck. It's been a couple of weekends since he's been called to start a game for the Tigers, so trying to get back into that groove.
Lined at the glove of Beck, who makes the throw in time, able to knock it down and make the throw to first. Nice play from Beck.
Yeah, you see it's a grounder, and it goes off his foot. You can see he's trying to dance out of the way. But instead, it shoe shines him, gets the throw over to first. It looks like Beck is okay. the most innocuous of hit balls that can cause the most damage sometimes, but Beck looks no worse for wear.
Beck able to make the stop, a gaping hole behind second base behind him. Chapman and Lustina not even anywhere near that bag, so that would have been an easy single. Now Wyatt Kulo up to the plate. Takes strike one, 85 on that one from Beck. Kulo, a 340 hitter. Comes on with 2 down and nobody on. The 0-1. Popped up, sky high. Lustina makes the call, charges into the infield grass, and makes the catch. A nice inning for Jake Beck. 3 up, 3 down. Tigers up to bat when we come back on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. Bottom of the first inning, and here's the Trinity Tigers lineup on your screen. Caleb Woodward leading things off in center field, followed by Maddox McDonald, Nicholas Lazera doing the catching role today. Nick Jones out in left field, Will Baker hitting fifth, followed by Kai Tinker, Brandon Nelson, Michael Lustina at second, the one change from last night's lineup, and Cam Chapman rounding things out in the 9-hole. And on the mound for the Southwestern Pirates, it will be Silas Jones, a 1-4 record, a 7.42 ERA. The senior from Tomball, Texas, getting the start, despite a little bit of an incident in warm-ups, according to our executive producer, Josh Muchigemba. Jones was hit in the face by a foul ball in batting practice. Couldn't tell if it was off a hop or direct, but either way, he is in and seems ready to go.
Oh boy. Hope we don't get a Max Scherzer black eye game out of Jones.
So Caleb Woodward stepping in, the leadoff hitter for Trinity, a .310 average on the season with 25 RBI. Squares up to bunt, pulls it back, and oh, that's not good. Catches the home plate umpire off the glove of Vaquero, and he does not look like he's in good shape.
Take a look and see exactly. Yeah, I think missed the glove completely. He took it direct. Yeah, that does not feel good. Even with the protective gear that the umpires have underneath the shirt. Off that upper shoulder area, it's kind of where it's a bit weaker.
Trinity training staff out to check on him. Pitching coach Dave Smith coming out to hand him some water. And we certainly hope that he's okay. That's not supposed to be his job. Supposed to determine whether that's in the zone or not take the brunt of it. Seems like he's ready to go. Gets an applause from the Saturday crowd at Trinity University.
And of course, the umpire crews in the NCAA have to be ready for 2-man and sometimes even 1-man umpiring days if one of their co-workers does go down, but it looks like we will keep having a 3-man umpire crew, which is good because have more accurate appeals on check swings.
So the pitch to Woodward is blooped into left center field, and it gets down for a base hit. So after all that, Woodward finds his way on. First hit of the day for either team.
And Woodward has been great in the leadoff spot, especially leading off games as a whole. He is almost a surefire thing to get on base whenever he struts up to the plate. They're great, just great piece of hitting. It's nothing flashy. It's just a bloop out into left center, but that's all he needs.
That's his job as the leadoff man. Get on for the rest of the order, and he did just that. Maddox McDonald up to the plate. Takes a slider that bends back into the strike zone. McDonald, a .371 hitter on the season. One hit in last night's game, a single in the third. Works with Woodward on first. They check on him and dives back safely.
It's an understandable checking on Woodward. If you were thinking a speed threat that the Tigers would send, Woodward would be it, I would say.
McDonald fouls one back into the screen. It's quickly 0-2. Woodward, 16 stolen bases on the year. He's only been caught twice. Part of why the Tigers like to hit him first every game. The lineup that's been pretty consistent throughout the year. McDonald hitting second, Lazara hitting third. Where Woodward goes, pitch gets all the way to the backstop and no throw. Woodward took a little bit of return at second, thinking about third, but content with the stolen base he has.
It's a high pitch that perhaps left the hand of Silas too early. Vaquero couldn't get a glove on it. It's going to be one of the easier stolen bases that Woodward gets.
Woodward at second after the stolen base. Pitch a ball, so the 1-2 to McDonald in the dirt, and a nice block by Vaquero. Keep Woodward where he is.
And these are just kind of freebie pitches, Cole. I mean, McDonald doesn't really have to do much to see whether that's a strike or a ball. One was way too high, and the other one didn't even reach the plate before it hit the ground.
The 2-2 from Jones. Hit in the air to right. And the catch is made, but Woodward will tag. Strong throw to third, a little bit offline, and Woodward slides in safely.
That's some good aggressive base running from the Tigers. It was a strong throw out of right field, but fortunately for Woodward and the Tigers, just a little offline. It's one of the most difficult throws in baseball to make, right field to third with any sort of accuracy. So they knew that they had a pretty good chance of tagging up there.
Nicholas Lazara up to the plate, a .387 hitter on the year. Had the big 3-run homer in last night's game. Gave Trinity the 4-3 lead at the time. Takes a pitch away. Ball 1. That was really the turning point in the game. Southwestern had controlled it. We're out hitting the Tigers 10-4 at one point. Nick Lazara, the big swing, gave the Tigers the lead. They never gave it back. Takes a strike. Count 1-1.
And Lazara, he's just been a fire starter for the Tigers all year, whether it's clutch home runs or big RBIs.
Trying to get one here, fouls it off the end of the bat. Takes a couple hops back to the backstop, 1-2.
He's one of several guys who has played in at least one game every year of his career at Trinity.
The 1-2 from Jones. Off the end of the bat and past the leap of Oregon. Gets into right field. The run will score. Bit of a bobble out in center, but Lazara will stay at first. It's an RBI single, and the Tigers have the 1-0 lead.
Oh, man, Cole. I thought Trace Oregon was going to make the leaping grab, but I think he was positioned just a little offline. So Lazara gets the RBI. Yeah, Tigers get to score first. They're up early. That's what they want.
So taking the first run of the game, something they did not do in last night's game. Nicholas Jones up to the plate, a .333 hitter on the season. Takes a strike. Jones began his night with 2 strikeouts, but was able to work a walk. Held hitless. Trying to change that and miss at bat. Pitch way high again, and that's been a problem for Jones so far. He's already had a few go to the backstop, 1 to the umpire. Trying to rein it in, has already surrendered a run. One pitch. Hit into left field, and the party continues for the Tigers. Lazara will go to second, and 2 aboard for Trinity after the base hit from Jones.
Hey, this is what the Tigers' game plan is, Cole. It's just get on base. We don't really need to hit anything too hard. There it was kind of a hanging breaking ball that Jones just poked out in the left field. It wasn't hit all that powerfully. It was just enough to get on base, which is what the Tigers want to start the game off.
Will Baker up to the plate. Takes a pitch away, ball one, a .373 hitter on the season. Baker worked a walk in last night's game, was 0 for 3. Runners on first and second. Takes a strike, 1-1. Took until the second inning for the Tigers to get their first hit. It was a home run off the bat of Kai Tinker. First 5 of the game were retired in order against the pitcher Stephen Rutherford last night. Different story today. Pitch inside, Vaquero has to reach across his body to get it, and it's 2-1.
And Baker, he's been solid in both the cleanup spot and the 5-hole. He was in that cleanup spot while Nick Jones was out due to an injury.
Strike called, evens the count at 2-2.
But, you know, he stepped back into that 5-hole spot once Nick Jones has come back, and he's been excellent there. He's a guy you can put anywhere in the order, and he'll be successful.
One of these first years that have definitely stepped up this season. 2-2. Good take, ball in the dirt, runs the count full.
You really don't want to lose Baker here if you're Jones. You already gave up kind of a freebie when you were up on another batter earlier.
Baker has battled back this far. Pitch from Jones, 3-2. Ground ball, could be 2. Step on the bag at third, across the diamond in time, and that ends the inning. So the double play turned by the Pirates, and Tanner Teff's at third. But Trinity scores a run. It's 1-0 Tigers as we head to the second. Welcome back to the top of the second inning. Christian Melillo set to lead things off for the Pirates, who find themselves in a 1-0 hole. Melillo, a .341 hitter on the season, takes strike one. One of several hitters for the Pirates who are having good offensive seasons, but the team as a whole, not the same. .277 average on the year, despite a top 6 that has been pretty formidable so far. The 0-1 from Beck, misses low, 1-1.
Colin, it's kind of the difference between what makes a program great and what makes a program good. You know, Southwestern's got some ringers at the top of the order, but that's one piece of the puzzle.
The 1-1, fouled off the end of the bat into the screen behind Melillo. 1-2.
You know, the Tigers last year, they had a big piece of the puzzle and how good their pitching was. And then that piece that they were missing was the hitting wasn't keeping up with the pitching for the most part. But now it seems that they're starting to get the pieces more together.
Pitch misses up. Count even at 2-2. Tigers trying out Jake Beck on the mound just to see what it's going to be like in the conference tournament. They've already clinched that #1 overall spot. But but you likely will need to play more than 3 games to clinch the conference. Pitch outside, Lazera has to reel it in. Count runs full, 3-2. A couple of different interesting options for the Tigers. They got Brandon Morio, who would usually be starting in this situation. You obviously have Trajan Lee and Jace Clay, and then Jake Beck, another option potentially. 3-2 pitch. Looping foul ball that will go out of play on the left field side.
Man, I love the SCAC tournament, Cole, because it is a regional format. It's 4 teams, double elimination. That's exactly how every regional across the nation will work this year, now that there are no more 2-team regionals.
3-2 pitch. Misses low, ball 4, and a good start to the inning for Southwestern. A leadoff walk for Melillo.
Good patience from the cleanup man. You know, he'd like to be working with guys on base, but when you have nobody on base, it's your job as the cleanup guy to get something started. And we'll see if that's what he did there.
Trace Organ, the second baseman, hitting .301 on the year, now up to bat. The leadoff man aboard in Melillo. Hit in the air, to left field. Jones tracks back towards the warning track, makes the catch, and there's one away.
Tracy really muscled it out into left field. The wind were perhaps a bit friendlier. Might have blown it a little further. Not sure if it would have blown it out or not. But yeah, that's some good muscle on that ball.
Jordan Coronado up to the plate. See the numbers on his screen. 30 RBIs towards the team lead. Strike called. Finds himself down 0-1. Coronado taking a standard lead. The Pirates thankful to have the righty Beck on the mound instead of the lefty Clay, who did successfully pick off a Pirate. Beck tries to do it there, not in time.
I wonder if Jace has picked off a runner in every start that he's had this year.
I think it's every game that we've called that he's picked one off. I can't remember one where he didn't. Ground ball right to Beck. Throws back to second a little high. Chapman has to jump, but ooh, safe called at first, so it costs them the double play. The high throw from Beck. They get the lead runner, though. There's 2 away.
It's going to be a close play at first, but no, he's out at second. It's a high throw, but he's still out. He steps on base. Then the throw to first, it's close, but when you get those close kind of plays, umpire will usually defer to the runner.
So Coronado safe on the fielder's choice. 2 down in the inning. Strike called. Tanner Teffs, first year from Las Vegas, Nevada, hitting .232 on the year. The 0-1 from Beck. Strike called, 0-2. Of course, we already talked about yesterday with Andrew that I'm also from Las Vegas. We share the same hometown, so that's pretty cool. I think he's the first that I've seen. First player I've called in these games that's been from Las Vegas. 0-2. Ground ball to Beck again. This time it gets past him. Diving play by Chapman, and he flips to second for the out. Cam Chapman putting on a show at shortstop. Able to slide behind the second base bag and recover for the out. You'll see it again.
This was incredible from Cam Champness. That range that he showed there in that flip, that's MLB type stuff. That is a major league level play. To get out there, to stop that ball from going into center field, and that inning continuing, excellent job.
What a way to send us to break. 1-0 Trinity has the lead. Tigers up to bat when we come back. Welcome back to the bottom of the second here in the Alamo City. Kai Tinker will lead things off for the Tigers, who have a 1-0 lead over Southwestern here in Game 2. Tinker, a .360 hitter on the year, 31 RBIs, OPS over 900. First pitch from Jones, rides inside, ball 1. Tinker got the scoring party started for the Tigers in last night's game. Kind of a fly ball home run, just kept carrying, and it was pretty long gone when it was all said and done. Jones fires a strike. I was calling it like a routine fly ball to left center because that's what I thought it was, and then it just kept going, and eventually it was not just over the wall, it was pretty far gone. Fouled off the end of the bat. Count 1-2.
Sometimes that's just how it goes here at this field. When it's windy enough, those fly balls, they are really hard to tell if they're going to go out or not. It just all depends on how strong the wind is and what direction it's blowing.
Chopped off the end of the bat, foul down the third base line, so we'll do the 1-2 pitch again. I had a conversation, I think it was towards the end of last year, with the pitching coach for Trinity, Dave Smith, and he used to play here back in the early 2000s, and he says that he can tell instantly whether it's going out or not. He'll know. I guess that's what happens when you've been doing this for as long as he has. Pitch misses high, 2-2.
It's one of those situations where you've been there long enough that you've seen everything, or basically everything.
Grounded towards second. Nice ranging play from Morgan, and he makes the throw in time to get the lead man.
That ball a bit dangerous off the bat for going up the middle, but Trace Morgan was positioned perfectly. He was positioned closer to the bag than maybe you normally would see a second baseman. That's what gave him the range to snag the ball and throw it over to first.
Brandon Nelson now coming up to the plate. .378 hitter on the year, OPS over 1,000. Big swing and a miss. Count 0-1. Nelson, a 3-hit game yesterday, 2 singles and a double. Trying to continue that momentum. Another big hack from Nelson, swinging for the fences, down 0-2.
And Nelson kind of bucks the trend of batters going up with the approach of getting on base. Nelson, every time he goes up, he wants it gone. He wants to break another windshield.
The 0-2. Good take on a pitch outside, 1-2. For those of you who don't watch Trinity broadcasts in the past, there's a parking lot just over the right field fence, and it is a not uncommon occurrence for a ball that gets hit over that direction to break a windshield. Nelson lines one into center field, falling fast, and it's a fair ball. Base hit for Brandon Nelson, 4 hits in his last 2 games.
And when Nelson does find himself down in an 0-2 count, it's also not uncommon for him to change his approach, just on the fly. He reaches out to poke that one into center field. It kind of curves as it falls, but I don't think Wilson was getting there either way. Yeah, nice little base hit.
So a base hit to center field for Nelson with 1 down. Michael Lustina up to the plate, .290 hitter on the year. Takes a strike. Lustina is 15 for his last 34 at the plate, a .441 average. 4 consecutive multi-hit games for him. He's been heating up. Hey, we'll check on Nelson. I'm not sure why. Gets back. All I'm saying is I don't know if there's much risk, and his lead currently will show that. About 3 steps away from the bag. Lustina lines one into left field, a base hit. So chalk that up as the 6th hit of the day for the Tigers, only through 2 innings at this point.
And yeah, Michael Lucina's bat recently, it's been having people go, man, who is this guy? Near the beginning of the season, he was batting below 200, and now he is getting hit after hit after hit. He's been excellent after spring break. He has been on fire, and that's just more evidence.
Cam Champness, another guy who's been getting hot lately, pops up the bunt, but it's dropped by Jones. And everybody will be safe. Bases loaded with 1 out. They say Jones touched that, making it a fair ball, even though it landed in foul territory.
Yeah, and this is a bunt that should have been caught. You can see the pitcher has to make the play. Jones, it goes off of him. And it's really unfortunate because Vaquero has to go all the way to that wall to get the ball. And at that point, everyone's safe already.
And that will warrant a visit. Seemed like a routine play. Clanks off the glove of Jones, and everybody's safe with one down in the inning. The bases are loaded, filled with Tigers. Chapman at first, Lustina at second. And Nelson will be at first, meeting adjourned. Everybody will go back to their respective positions, and the top of the order with an opportunity to put the Tigers up by a lot more than one. Caleb Woodward up to the plate. 1 for 1, a .315 hitter on the year.
And for Jones, you got to stay calm in this situation. Be that pressure cooker that Southwestern needs you to be right now.
Play understandably scored an error. Southwestern with 2 errors in back-to-back plays. And Jones will walk off the mound. Seems like there's an issue with equipment or pitch comm, and that'll get taken care of quickly. Southwestern got out of the last inning with a double play, hoping to do the same here. They're 1 pitch away from getting out of it, but at the same time, 1 pitch away from being down by a lot more than they are.
It's a tightrope right now for Jones. We'll see how he walks it against every bat in this order is dangerous for the Tigers, but the leadoff man, not someone anybody likes to face.
5 hits and an error so far for Trinity. First pitch from Jones, misses outside. Bases are filled with sky blue jerseys. Swing and a miss. Foul tipped into the glove of Vaquero, count 1-1.
You can see every base runner goes like before the ball hits the mitt, maybe trying to have a psychological effect on Jones as he throws.
The bluff steal again, big swing and a miss from Woodward.
He's been handling it well so far, Cole. He's up in the count, needs a strikeout or some sort of double play. Anything else likely scores a run.
The 1-2. Fouled off the end of the bat. A nice play by Dave Smith just at the end of the dugout. Bare hands it. Acts like nothing happened.
It's like riding a bike. You never forget.
1-2 to the leadoff hitter Woodward. Did he go? They appeal? No, he did not. Close call.
And the umpire who they appeal to is not in the best position to see whether it is a swing or not. This is the umpire's view. So if you can say you have convincing evidence of whether that's a strike or not.
Popped up, drifting foul, and it will be out of play. No harm done.
So perhaps a tough break for Southwestern there, that the umpire wasn't on that third baseline. But since bases are loaded, he has to be in the center so he can accurately make a call at both second, third.
2-2. Hit in the air, shallow center field. Wilson coming in. Runners will tag. Throw to home is cut off. They throw the third instead, and they get the out there. So the double play turned. The inning is over. The question is, did the run score before? And will it be counted?
That was a very smart play by Southwestern. You throw it home, you're probably not getting the out. We'll see.
And it looks like Nelson got in first. We'll see it again.
Yeah.
That seems to be the case, so it should be 2-0, and that's what the scoreboard says now. So the sacrifice fly complete, but they get the out at third that gets them the double play. Tigers get a run, but it could have been a lot worse. We'll head to the third on Tiger Network. Trinity up 2-0. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas, where the wind is kicking up a notch, blowing out in the left center field as we speak. Logan Wilson will lead off the inning. 255 hitter, hitting 8th for the second day in a row, facing Jake Beck, who's in his third inning of work. Wilson got the play started that ended the inning for Southwestern, making the catch, and then the throw that was cut off. Slider misses away for Beck, 1-0. Couldn't tell if that was second baseman Trace Organ that cut that play off, or it was the shortstop Ben Foyer. But either way, a really smart decision that probably saved them a lot of damage. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Incredibly intelligent. Expect nothing less from a JC Bunch coach team.
The 1-1. Pitch inside, and that's something we haven't mentioned on the broadcast, something that we were saving. But J.C. Bunch, former Trinity coach, learned, as he said earlier before Friday's game to me, learned from the best. Head coach Tim Scannell. Big swing and a miss from Wilson, count 2-2. Bunch, a player in the late 90s and early 2000s. Teammate of pitching coach Dave Smith for 3 years, towards the beginning of the Tim Scannell era here at Trinity. 2-2, and that's strike 3. Gets Wilson looking. First strikeout of the night for James Beck.
Great job from Beck. Get the strikeout looking. Yeah, he's kind of hitting his groove right now, Jake Beck. And that's what you want to see out of him.
So Ben Foyer up, the 9-hole hitter. Sharply hit, but foul over the bullpen of Southwestern. The 0-1, working with one down, nobody on. Pitch from Beck, inside out swing. Hit to Lustina, who makes the throw a little bit offline, but enough accuracy for Will Baker to be able to stretch and make that play.
That's why they put Will Baker over at first, is because he can't stretch to make the plays. If the throw's a little bit offline, good stretch there and toe drag.
Now the leadoff hitter, Duffy, swings at the first pitch and fouls it. I think he fouled it. It didn't sound like he fouled it, but that's what it looked like.
That's what it looked like to me too, but yeah, that was... if that came off the bat, that was a very weird sound off the bat.
0-1, swing and a miss. Sort of a one-handed swing when it was all said and done. Now 0-2. 6th start of the season for Jake Beck. First one in a while, and he's looked pretty good so far, trying to finish his 3rd scoreless inning. Pitch away, 1-2.
And he had Connor up there just swinging everything but the kitchen sink at that pitch for strike 2.
Pitch in the dirt. So some good patience from the leadoff man, Duffy. Two down, nobody on. Duffy trying to change that. 2-2 pitch. Misses again, so Duffy patient, battling back, full count.
Yeah, he's attacking him low. I'm not quite sure it's intentional that he's trying to attack him that low, but he's not chasing.
Sun coming out on the campus of Trinity University. Southwestern trying to get on, and they will do so. Duffy takes ball 4, comes back from 0-2. 2-out walk handed out by Beck.
Yeah, in that sequence, those 3 balls, it was accurate enough to be, well, you could maybe get him chasing, but also inaccurate enough that I kind of wonder if that was the intended target or if he just missed his spot. Either way, great patience from Duffy.
And the heart of the Southwestern order coming to the plate, starting with James Vaquero, who pops one up, foul ground. Will it be playable? Drifting towards the Trinity bullpen and in it, out of play. So unfortunately for the Tigers, it does not count if one of the pitchers in the bullpen would have made that catch.
Yeah, we're not playing banana ball.
No, we are not. Though there are yellow uniforms, so I don't know. There's a lot of color in this game. Got some bright blue and bright yellow going against each other. Oh, 1 pitch to Vaquero. Misses outside, so Beck retired the first 2 batters in this inning, and now it will warrant a meeting from Dave Smith. Had a little bit of issues with control these last 2 batters, and Smith going to try and calm him down.
And I think a sensible visit. He got through the first 2 batters with some ease, and now he's just unable to finish off the inning right now. Not an uncommon spot for pitching coach Dave Smith to come out and talk with his pitcher on the mound. Tigers do have somebody up and moving around in their bullpen. I believe that's Brandon Morio out there. But the point of the starters that the Tigers try to do is they try to get them to go at least 6 or 7 innings before having to go to the bullpen usually. And Beck only at 37 pitches so far. He's on a great pace. They want him to continue to be on that great pace.
Very likely that Beck would start a game in the conference tournament unless the Tigers were able to sweep through it. Meeting adjourned, and a 1-1 pitch coming up from Beck. Lined to Lustina on 1 hop. Makes the throw in time and gets out of the inning. 1 pitch after the meeting. That's the calming presence of Dave Smith. 3 scoreless thrown by Beck. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. Tigers up 2-0. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. Maddox McDonald will lead things off for the Tigers in the bottom of the 3rd. They find themselves up 2-0. McDonald squares up to bunt, but pulls it back. And a strike called, 0-1.
Not uncommon for McDonald to throw up a bunt every now and again. He certainly has the speed to leg out an infield single.
Pitch misses, 75 miles per hour out of the hand of Silas Jones, who's in his third inning of work, has surrendered a run in each of his 2 prior innings. Could have been a lot worse in the second, though. Got out of a bases-loaded jam, only allowing 1. McDonald takes strike 1 and 2. He's been the beneficiary of 2 double plays. One a 6-3, and the other a throw from center field that was cut off, or the third was in time to get the out. McDonald bends out of the way of that pitch, evens the count at 2-2. Talk about the good baseball that we've been seeing just throughout these last 2 days, especially on defense. We know how well coached the Tigers are from Tim Scannell. Foul ball off the end of the bat. We'll do it again at 2-2. The JC Bunch, very similar. This is a team that's been to the conference tournament the last 2 years in his 8th season with Southwestern. Talked to him the day before the first game. Says he takes a lot of what he does from Trinity, how they decide who plays, how they practice. Learned a lot from his time here, both playing and coaching with Tim Scannell. Full count for McDonald. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And the leadoff man gone for the Pirates.
Yeah, well worked for Silas Jones. That was pretty impressive. He kind of had McDonald guessing on where that final pitch would be. McDonald took a swing and he had nothing but air.
Nick Lazera coming up to the plate. 1 for 1 with a single. The Tigers have 5 hits in this game, all of them base hits. Takes a pitch low and inside, 1-0.
And also, we talk about JC Bunch, like he just played. He was really, really good when he played as well.
Pitch catches the zone, strike called. Coach Scannell saying he was definitely a top 3 player that's ever played here. Foul ball, just past the Trinity dugout, 1-2. Playing here in the early part of Coach Scannell's tenure, back when Southwestern was winning a bunch of SCAC titles. Southwestern's won 5 SCAC championships, their most recent one coming in 2002. A lot of them around that time, though. Strike 3 called. Lazera gone. Back-to-back strikeouts for Silas Jones.
Jones on a roll right now. Yeah, breaking ball broke into the zone, and Lazera could do nothing but watch. Silas Jones starting to really settle in here.
Jones did not have a strikeout in the prior 2 innings. Now has back-to-back in this one. Face Nick Jones. Strike called. Jones 1 for 1 with a base hit, his first hit of this series. Trying to add another one with 2 down and nobody on. Bunch also coaching here with the Tigers, was the third base coach and the hitting coach back when they won the College World Series in 2016. So experienced a lot of success here at Trinity. Strike called.
I always have to wonder what it's like as a coach when you bring a former player on to your coaching staff, or you coach against a former player.
1-2. Pitch high.
That makes you sit back and reflect of, man, I've been doing this for a long time.
Jones in a 2-2 count. Jones versus Jones. Pitch inside, 3-2.
That's a good limbo performance from Jones, not to get hit by Jones. Wonder which Jones is going to prevail, though.
Marquee matchup.
Davy Jones, Pirates.
3-2. Ball 4, and Nick Jones has reached both times against Silas Jones.
Well worked by Nick Jones. He has worked quite a few walks in his season so far. And he's just incredibly patient at the plate. You see it there, that discipline.
Will Baker coming up to the plate, 0 for 1. Grounded out to third in his only at bat. Takes the ball low, 1-0. Tigers trying to find some 2-out magic. Had a lot of it in yesterday's game. A 3-run inning in the bottom of the third. Pitch misses inside. All of that was done with 2 outs, trying to do something similar here in the bottom of the third. Runner on first, 2 down in the inning. Jones bluffs stealing, throws a strike, 2-1.
And I love how the Tigers can rally no matter what the scoreboard reads. If they're ahead by 5, if they're down by 5, there's 1, 2 outs. They are dangerous no matter what the situation is.
Pickoff attempt, kind of half-hearted. Baker takes a hop back to first, and he's safe easily. Always have to be careful with the lefty on the mound, but not too much muster behind that throw. 2-1 in the dirt, and a nice block by Vaquero, keeping Jones where he is.
Yeah, Vaquero's had a workout today behind the plate. He's gotten some, others have been a bit too wild for him to get, but it allows Jones to just keep Jones on first.
Now the count 3-1. High ball 4, and back-to-back 2-out walks handed out by Silas Jones.
And now things are getting a little sketchy, Cole. The runner in scoring position, and it doesn't get any easier in the Tigers' batting order. I have to wonder how Jones will maybe change his approach or try and tighten things down.
Kai Tinker 0 for 1 today, grounded out to second. Now in a position to extend this lead. All of this so far coming with 2 outs. Pitch outside, 1-0. And this will warrant a meeting from head coach J.C. Bunch. Runners on first and second, 2 down in the inning.
Sensible time to meet. It looks like it is just a meeting. I didn't see Coach Bunch signal for a change, and he's walking back. Just calm down your guy, because right now he's kind of shaking on the mound right now.
Everybody will go back to their respective positions. Tinker steps back into the batter's box. Southwestern likes to give their starters a lot of run. We talk about the lack of depth in their lineup. The same thing applies for their pitching. They have some top guys and not a lot behind them. Trying to roll with their starter here. Ball in the dirt, gets away for a second, but not enough to advance the runners. Vaquero able to keep it near him.
And sometimes it can just be such a roller coaster for certain situations when you're on the mound. You get the first 2 guys out, and then you walk 1, and then it turns into 2. It's just refocusing and getting that 3rd out.
Jones behind, 2-0. Finds the strike zone, 2-1. Silas Jones this season, a lot of strikeouts, a big reason why the Pirates are 17th in the country in strikeouts per 9 innings. Only 2 strikeouts today, both of them coming in this inning before he's handed out 2 2-out walks. Fouled off the end of the bat of Tinker onto the roof. 1, 2, well, I don't know if we can count that. Kind of hit off a pipe. Wouldn't have been a record breaker anyways. Tinker now in a 2-2 count. Jones trying to get out of this inning. Ground ball to short. Foyer airmails the throw, and everybody's going to be safe. Tefts had to leap and try and get his foot on the bag. Couldn't do it, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs.
Oh boy, Cole, that was Unfortunate for Southwestern, but the Tigers are going to take it. Yeah, you're completely correct. Airmailed it. It's similar what almost happened with Beck to Champness earlier in the game where the throw was too high. It was going to be a difficult play either way, throwing it to third, but just doesn't work out for the Buccos.
So chalk up an E6 as Brandon Nelson will come up to the plate. Takes a strike. We've seen Nelson come up with some big home runs already this season. He's hit 8 this year. That leads the team. Definitely a dangerous bat with the bases loaded. The 0-1 outside, 1-1.
You got to approach Brandon Nelson very carefully here if you are Silas Jones.
The 1-1 pitch to Nelson. Already has a hit today. Fouled into the screen behind him, 1-2.
And at the same time, if you're Brandon Nelson, you know, it's easy to think as a batter, just clear the bags, get the runs in, but there's nothing wrong with just getting on base and keeping the rally going.
Ball high, 2-2. The inning began with 2 strikeouts. McDonald and Lazera gone swinging and looking respectively. 2 walks and an error have loaded the bases. The pitch from Jones, 2-2. Foul ball will do it again.
He's doing a good job staying alive. Have Silas give him a hanging breaking ball potentially. Try to get him to chase. Maybe work a full count. The ball is in Silas's court right now.
Chopped foul again. Strong at bat from Nelson so far as it will continue.
And right now, Silas Jones, he's at the 70 pitch marker.
Tigers have 5 hits through 2 innings and change. All of them singles. Single here would likely score 2. The 2-2. Fouled off again, out of play behind the ballpark, and we'll do it again. You got to wonder who this is more annoying for, Jones or Nelson. Nelson, who can't quite get a hold of one, and Jones, who just has to throw pitch after pitch after pitch. Nelson stands in, ready to go. The 2-2, take 4. Driven in the air, deep to right field, back at the wall to Trinity and beyond. A grand slam for Brandon Nelson, and he's blown this game open. It's 6-0.
Man call off the bat. Everyone knew it was gone. I'm sure pitching coach Dave Smith said goodbye to that one right as it left the bat. Big jubilation. Dave Smith gets in on the celebration too, Cole.
Well, that's a new one.
And the Tigers have blown this game open in the bottom of the 3rd.
Well, we warned them. They had to be careful with them. And pitch after pitch, 2 strikes. Just over the wall. Brings up Michael Lustina. Takes a strike. A grand slam. Makes it 6-0. And all of it done with 2 outs on the board. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
And Brandon Nelson got everybody cheering. He got the bullpen. They were freaking out. I can't believe Dave Smith came out and did the celebration with them. That was awesome.
The 0-2. Pitch misses from Jones, who's trying to find his way out of this inning. The base is cleared with 1 swing. Not something you ever want to see as a pitcher. Score now 6-0. 4 runs in this inning. That's strike 3. Lustina goes looking, so Jones strikes out the side, but in the middle of that, a grand slam blows this game open. Here it is again, one more time. 6-0 Tigers. 4 runs on that 1 swing. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. 6-0 Tigers after they score 4 in the bottom of the third. And we have a very special guest, starting pitcher Trajan Lee, joining us on the broadcast. Trajan, how are you doing?
Doing great, Cole. Thanks for having me up here. It's a pleasure. Obviously, last half inning being up here was awesome to see. And great grand slam by Brandon Nelson. So excited to see it.
Wyatt Kulo up to the plate, working against Jake Beck, who's in his 4th inning of work. Sarah will come out for a visit there. Your numbers on the screen. I look at the win-loss in particular. 6-0. They certainly win a lot when you're throwing.
Absolutely, yeah. I got a great team behind me, and they've certainly helped me out these past couple weeks. But they do a great job, and I just do my best to keep them in the game, and they take care of the rest. So all credit to them.
Well, we were talking in between innings. It was 2 outs very quickly in that last inning. Strikeout, strikeout. You come up here, all of a sudden walk, error, and then the grand slam. We've got to get you up here more often.
Absolutely, man. No, it's a very cool view up here, and led to some good things. So I was happy to come up.
Well, I wanted to ask you about your time here. I know you started here the same year I started here. We've both been here for the same 3 years, and just seeing your evolution. Started off, maybe, I think you did a midweek start, and that was about it your first year, and then you became a very important part of the bullpen. And now all of a sudden, you're pretty much the guy here. I mean, I know you're definitely one of the guys that everybody looks to, one of the leaders of the team. I was just wondering how you felt about that evolution over your 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely, Cole. I mean, it's been a long journey. As you said, that first year was a little rough. There's some good spots and bad spots as any young kid goes through. But as the time's gone on, it's been an absolute pleasure to play with this team. And, you know, last year was a great year. I was looking to build off of that, more into a starter role this year, and got the opportunity and kind of never looked back. So it's been an awesome journey over the past 3 years, and it's going to be really sad to leave this place.
2-2 pitch to Kulo. Nobody out, nobody on for the Pirates, who are down 6-0, facing Jake Beck. This is a blooper into shallow right field. Bustina back, and he makes the catch in shallow right. 1 down in the inning. I wanted to ask you about the off-season work. We talked about it a little bit earlier this year, but you guys really changed the way you do things, a lot of weight training. And I just wanted to ask about the buy-in from the group on that, because it seems like it's had a really good effect.
Absolutely, yeah, it's been amazing. We did our off-season a little differently this past year. Instead of doing a lot of scrimmaging and work on the field, we really looked to get after it in the weight room, and I think it's paid off in huge dividends this year. Our pitching staff did a throwing program, kind of velocity training, and it's really turned up for our freshmen and older guys as well. So it's been an awesome fall. I mean, we were in the weight room 4 days a week with competition days and other running days filled in around that. And so it was a grind. I'm not going to say everyone loved it, but we did have a ton of buy-in from the guys, and all the seniors really did a great job leading groups and kind of help getting guys on track and bringing them along. And so it's really just a huge credit to our senior class of getting that done. And also just an outstanding job by our young guys. I mean, we had 30 freshmen come in, and they just killed it this offseason. So it was great to have them around and get after it with them.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that dynamic, because this is the last group of seniors that were around 4 years ago when this team went to the College World Series, and then also this group around when you guys won the SCAC title just a couple of years ago. 1 out walk handed out by Beck, runner on for Southwestern. But I wanted to ask you about that dynamic, because there's a lot of new faces, but at the same time, there's a lot of very old faces who have been here when this team has had a lot of success.
Absolutely, yeah. There was a lot of uncertainty going into this year. No one really knew how our team was going to shape up. We knew we had some talented guys and pieces that we could put together, but I don't think anyone knew we would have this good of a squad. So it's been awesome to really just get after it with the guys this year. And then to the point of being the last senior class, I was there for the World Series group. I wasn't a part of that. I transferred in the year after. And a lot of our other guys honestly weren't too big parts of the team. And there was definitely some guys that were massive parts of that team and helped get them there. And not trying to take anything away from them, because they've done an amazing job that freshman year, and since then have also done a great job. But honestly, it was kind of a fresh start for us. We knew, like, we kind of had to prove ourselves a little. We lost a ton of seniors last year. We knew we were going to have to fill a lot of spots. And I think our team embodied that really well. We were really excited to get after it. We knew that some guys would be looking back unsure of how this Trinity program was going to be, and we kind of had that chip on our shoulder all fall and really got after it, and it's led to a great year so far.
Base hit from Trace Organ, and it looks like that'll be the day for Jake Beck. He works 3 scoreless and works into the 4th. A good performance overall for him. We'll take a break on Tiger Network. More from Trajan Lee when we come back. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. Brandon Morio now on the mound for the Tigers, a 5-0 record, a 1.6 ERA, 33.2 innings pitched. And you see the numbers on the screen, Trajan. It is pretty incredible the turn he's taken this year. ERA over 17 last year in limited action, and now he's a mainstay out of this Tigers pen and in the rotation.
Absolutely. No, BMO's been awesome for us. He's absolutely killed it this year. He got after it this offseason, and it showed up big time on the mound. So I'm really happy for him and proud of how far he's come.
Pinch hitter in for Southwestern, Cale Cochran, takes strike 1. A lot of development happening on the staff this year, Trajan. I've talked about Brandon Morio, Jace Clay. I've heard from Dave that he's throwing a lot harder than he was. It's actually something that he's had to figure out a little bit, how to throw 90 miles per hour, because he says it's kind of a different ball game. I'm just wondering, the growth that you've seen from these young pitchers, how have you seen it from your perspective as a senior?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a pleasure to watch these guys grow. We all kind of go through this little journey of college baseball, and there's going to be struggles along the way. I've yet to meet a pitcher, or quite frankly any player, that hasn't had their fair share of struggles, so it's been awesome to watch them grow. And BMO actually went out to Vermont this summer and killed it up there in the Futures League. And I'm excited to see some of our freshmen go to some summer ball leagues and do the same thing this next year.
Lazara able to get back on top of that baseball and prevent any advancement. Runners on first and second for Southwestern in a 6-0 game with Cochran at the plate. Trying to drive in the first run. We're talking about Jake Beck's start. He did really well. 3 innings, only allowing the 1 hit. That's where he got pulled. Foul ball into the screen, 2-2 against Morio. What did you make of his start?
Yeah, I thought Jake did awesome. It's been a while since he's started for us. He was a key piece in the middle of the season, so it was great to see him back out there on the mound. He's killed it in the relief role.
Popped up, sky high, maybe a tough sky, overcast. Lucina coming in, makes the call and the catch on the infield grass. 2 away.
But yeah, Jake did awesome today, and it was really great to see him get to do his thing out there, so really proud of him.
We were talking a little bit during the pitching change about the importance of these games, not for conference standings, but for NPI standings. You gave some interesting thoughts on the formula. Repeat them for the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those who don't know, the NPI is a new way of D3 kind of ranking their teams for at-large bids in case you don't win your conference tournament. it's a cool mathematical equation that they came up with, but unfortunately, I think it has some of its flaws that they're going to have to work out, which is all right. It's the first year of it. And we were talking about this series with Southwestern, which is always going to be a tight series. They're a great team. Even if the record doesn't necessarily show it, they're going to play us tough. And so a loss from them is honestly can happen at any given time, just like any given baseball game. But if we beat them, it really doesn't help out our MPI all that much. So these games are a little bit bigger than a lot of people realize. We want to win every game we can and really just give ourselves the best chance to get into the postseason one way or another if we don't win our conference championship. So, yeah.
Yeah, talking to the coaching staff about that all year, it's been a situation where they were saying that because of all the new faces in the locker room, they weren't necessarily expecting to have to protect an at-large bid. Ball gets away from Lazera, both runners will advance in the scoring position. But I'm just wondering how that's perceived among the players, this idea of first few weeks, you're 13-0. It's like, oh man, we're really good, and now you have to look at these numbers and you have to factor in some of these losses. Is that something you worry about, or is that you just keep playing?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, obviously there's a long time in between each game, especially weekend series, so all of our guys like to look at some of the rankings and where we stand in MPI and regional rankings and whatnot and try to figure out if we're close to an at-large bid. But like you said, coming into the season, no one really knew if we had a shot at it. And I honestly think that kind of played a role in how well we played. And
ground ball, they throw to first, and that will end the inning. So Brandon Morio comes in with 2 on, and he gets out of it, no damage done. Still 6-0 Tigers as we'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back to the bottom of the 4th inning in San Antonio. Cam Champness will lead things off, the 9-hole hitter. Tigers up 6-0. Still joined by Trajan Lee. Trajan, what have you made of the offense so far today? It's been clicking over these past few weekends. It seemed like it hit a little bit of a rough patch towards spring break, a little bit, and then maybe a little bit after that at times, but ever since then, it's been really good.
Absolutely. I mean, every offense is going to go through its ebbs and flows of the season, and that's all right. It seems like we're turning it on at the right time, which is great. Can't ask for much more as a pitching staff other than run support and good defense played behind you. So they're doing absolutely phenomenal job there, and have really helped us out as kind of our pitching staff honestly has hit a skid for our standard of how we want to go about things and how we want to pitch the ball. So they're helping us out big time, and hopefully we start both clicking here soon.
Yeah, you mentioned a little bit of a skid for the pitching staff as of late. What do you guys think you need to do differently in order to get back to what you were doing earlier in the year, which was just shutting guys down? I mean, the offenses weren't doing anything against you guys first part of the season.
Absolutely. It really comes down to pitch execution. We've been struggling with it. We've been doing a good job of getting ahead early and staying ahead, but once we're ahead, we've been struggling with where we want our pitches to go and really putting guys away. So we really need to get back to the fundamentals of that, and I think once we do that, we'll just be just fine and rolling once again.
Caleb Woodward, ground ball to Oregon again. He's been busy. Throw in time. He's made a couple of nice plays. Close play at first. Saw you kind of shake your head. You didn't agree with that.
Oh, I'm not. I think the throw definitely beat him. I wasn't sure if the first baseman had his foot on the bag. We're about to see right here.
Ah, you might have a case.
Looks
I don't
a
know.
little close, but you know the umps do the best job they can, and so what they say goes, and that's how it is sometimes.
So I wanted to ask about you specifically. Well, we still have time with 2 down in the inning. As McDonald gets hit by the pitch, wears it, flips the bat, and he'll head to first. But what are your plans after college? I know you're going to be doing grad school. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have one more year of baseball, fortunately, and so I plan to get started on my MBA at another school. I would love to do it here at Trinity, but unfortunately we don't have the program for that. So I have to look for another place, and after the season ends, I'll kind of start that process and visiting schools and whatnot, so that'll be a fun thing to go through, and really excited about that.
Well, I'm sure whatever school would love to have you on the team. You've done very well this year. Nicholas Lazara up to the plate, a .388 hitter. Wanted to ask you about your catcher while he's up here. What's it like working with him behind the dish?
Yeah, Nick's awesome. We actually went to summer ball together out in California, and so we got to spend the whole summer rooming with each other and throwing with each other, and so it really was a great experience. We built a closer connection, and it's really helped both of us when we need to get in each other a little and kind of rip on each other. We can, and we know it comes out of love and just want another one to do great. So he's awesome back there. He works for our pitching staff. He's really turned it on this year behind the plate. He's always been a great hitter, so we really appreciate him.
The 1-0 to Lazara. Fouls one back in our direction. Hits the netting. Count 1-1. Another thing that I've always heard about Lazara through his past few years here from the coaching staff is just how competitive he is. And that's the biggest difference that what I've heard about this team from the coaches, what they're really impressed with you guys with, is just how competitive the group is. How have you seen that?
Yeah, absolutely. Nick is very competitive, and he honestly helps our team be very competitive.
Lazara hits one out into right field, and it will find the foul ground that's there. Not a lot of it. Bullpen juts out, but it found what was there.
But this year we have been a more competitive team, and I think that all started in the fall. We had some competition days every Saturday where the team would get after it, and some guys are going to get in each other's faces, and that's all right. We really grew from it, and I think it's made our team what it is today.
McDonald will run. Lazara takes a pitch. It gets behind Vaquero, so an easy 90 for Maddox McDonald. Chalk up a stolen base for him. Another thing I wanted to ask you about, this is much more of a lighthearted question, but what do you think of these uniforms? Because I absolutely love them. I'm so glad that they're here. It's been a long time since we've had the light blue, and I'm glad that they finally debuted them.
Yeah, absolutely. In the beginning of the year, I was a little unsure how we would look coming out. I had them for my media day pictures, and I wasn't too sure about them, but seeing them out here on the baseball field, especially from this view up on the roof, it looks a lot better, honestly. And
Throw gets into the dugout, and that will be an extra base for Lazara and a run for the Tigers. It is 7-0. Second error of the day by Southwestern. That's got to suck as a pitcher.
Yeah, it does. It's never easy, but by no means are your fielders meaning to do it, and so you just kind of have to brush it off and get back up on the mound and keep throwing. Overall, though, the blue jerseys definitely have grown on me, and I don't think we look too bad in them.
Nicholas Jones will come up to the plate as a gust of wind will greet us. What's your experience been like on the roof so far? How are you enjoying it? 'Cause this is what we have to deal with. I think you're getting the full experience with the wind and then the sun coming and going. We had a little bit of rain earlier in the first inning. I'm just wondering what you think of an exposed broadcast setup.
Yeah, it's very cool. I mean, you really can't beat this view. The wind's a little challenging, I'm sure, for the listeners at home over the mics, but it's a great vantage point of the field, and you really do get to see a lot of the game. So I've thoroughly enjoyed it up here on the roof.
2-0 pitch from Jones. Strike call. That's not what you were supposed to say, Trajan. You're supposed to say we need a press box. That's what we were looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be certainly nice to have a press box and a grandstands, but for the time being, I know this gets the job done.
Yeah, we're grateful for everybody who set this up. Jones fouls one back in our direction into the screen. Makes the count 2-2. It's a really nice view. You get to see everything. And I always tell the audience when you hear the wind that it just makes you feel like you're there.
That's a good point, Cole. I like that.
the Jones versus Jones matchup. Runner on second and Lazera. Big swing and a miss from Jones. And that will end the inning. Trajan, thank you for coming on. We really enjoyed having you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Cole. Really appreciate it. And hope y'all keep calling our games here soon when we host.
Hopefully. Top of the fifth inning coming up next on Tiger Network. Welcome back to San Antonio. Back here joined by Reed Rosales once again. Reed, thanks for giving way for Trajan Lee. Always great to have a special guest on. Logan Wilson will lead off this inning. And did he go around? Looked like he did. We'll see what they call. Kind of a drag bunt. They will appeal, and he did not go, so 1-0.
Yeah, always nice to have a special guest on, Cole. I did a really good Trajan Lee impression there, everybody, so...
Foul ball into the screen, 1-1.
That's not true. I'm not that good of a voice actor.
Just brought to our attention by executive producer Josh Michigemba, big swing and a miss from Logan Wilson, that I could call you a special guest because you weren't here yesterday, taking time off to go to grad school or something like that. Something less important than broadcasting for the Tiger Network, obviously.
Oh, look, I'm always a special guest.
Big cut and miss from Wilson. Strikeout for Brandon Morio. One away as a throw got away there. Oh boy. Was that from Will Baker?
I thought that was from Cam Champness. Or that might have been from Michael Lucio. Was somebody missed Kai Tinker?
It's better to get it out of the way now. That's the way I look at that. That was a very errant throw. Strike thrown by Morio. To the 9-hole hitter, Ben Foyer. Foyer 0 for 1, ground out to second. Pitch misses away from Morio, and we'll see the replay of it. This was just throwing the ball around. That was good. That was good. That was not so good. Foyer waves at that one. 1-2. Morio already has one out in this inning. Nobody on. Ball in the dirt evens the count at 2-2. Tigers up 7-0. An unearned run coming in the bottom of the fourth. Tigers have scored in every inning. Southwestern has scored in none of the innings, and they're down 7-0. Trying to change that here in the fifth. The 2-2. Fouled off the end of the bat. Doesn't go far, but not fair.
It's good that the Tigers have had their worst throws when live play has not been happening. Lazera threw a ball to Beck that I thought was going to get through his legs earlier.
Nice pick by Baker at first on the ground ball. Takes the trip himself. So that might be the formula. Get the good defense going when the play's actually happening, and then maybe some sloppy throws get them out of the way while it's not.
Yeah, you're right. That's a solid pick from Baker. That was hit on a rope. You had to act really quick. Will Baker did. Unassisted out for him. It's why he's at first base.
Now the leadoff man, Connor Duffy, takes a strike. Duffy 0 for 1 today, a 304 hitter on the year. Almost halfway through this one in San Antonio. The cloud cover has come on and off. Now it's back. Pitch inside for Morio, 1-1. The wind now more of a factor. The flag's blowing out to dead center field. See if that helps the Pirates or not. We're in their bright yellow uniforms today. Popped up, sky high. Is it playable? Baker has a read and makes the catch in foul ground. 3 up, 3 down for Brandon Morio. Halfway through this one in San Antonio, bottom of the 5th, coming your way next on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the Alamo City. Will Baker, who had a busy defensive inning in the last frame, up to bat now. First pitch from Jones, misses inside. Jones still out there for his 5th inning of work. He surrendered 7 runs, not all of them earned. Overall, it's been good for Jones, just the grand slam got away from him. 2 outs in the inning. And the damage done off the bat of Brandon Nelson. Baker takes a pitch, ahead 2-0. 0 for 1 today for Baker. He's worked a walk as well. Strike called. Silas Jones still on the mound despite allowing the 7 runs. And talks about the mentality that Southwestern had coming into this series and that this is their conference tournament. They know they're not playing any baseball after this. These are the last games for all the seniors, and they're putting what they have into it. Jones, no exception.
Yeah, I'm impressed he's still out there, not because of the performance, but because of the pitch count. He's over 100 pitches into the game.
Baker thought about it, takes a strike. Count runs full, 3-2. Nobody out, nobody on.
Of course, that full count, bringing up the pitch count even higher.
See it on your screen now, 103 pitches from Silas Jones. The 3-2, misses ball 4, and the second walk worked by Will Baker.
And I'm wondering how long of a leash Jones has, not performance-based, but just pitch count. I get putting your all into everything, but you don't want to get your guy hurt on the mound either.
Hi, Tinker coming up to the plate. Reached on an error the last time he was up. 0 for 2 on the day in total. Thought about bunting, but pulls it back. Strike 1. Tigers in a comfortable 7-0 lead to this point. Trying to add on in the bottom of the 5th. maybe get game 2 over with a little bit early. Half-hearted throw from Jones to first. Baker takes a step back and he's safe.
That's a common thing for pitchers to do. If you walk a guy, you throw over to first to try and settle yourself down, buy yourself some extra time.
No disengagement rules in college baseball, so he can do it as many times as he wants. Thought about bunting again, pulls it back, this time for a ball. Count evens at 1-1. Talk about the rivalry between Trinity and Southwestern and how it's turned in recent years. Mentioned that Southwestern's won the SCAC 5 times. Tinker lines one past the dive of Foyer into left field. Baker will stay at second. There's runners on first and second with nobody out.
It's a great effort by Foyer. Tinker able to have his ball go into left field, though. Excellent effort from Foyer. And, you know, we're in a position, Cole, where the cake's baked, right? It's already set. At this point, for the Southwestern players, it's going to be their last games of the season. They're putting all their effort to try and play spoiler.
Nelson hits one a high distance, a long way, but foul. I don't even know if that would have cleared the walls. As they said in Major League, too high.
It's too high. It's too high.
Too high, it can't be gone. Going into what I was talking about earlier, they won the SCAC in 96, 97, 98, 2000, and 2002. Nelson waves at that one 0-2. Haven't won it since, though, and that's around the time that Tim Scannell really got this thing going, and since then, Trinity's been the team to beat in the SCAC. Head coach J.C. Bunch trying to get Southwestern to where they were at that point when he was playing for the Tigers. Ground ball. Could be 2, throw to first, and it is. So Baker will advance to third, but 2 outs on 1 play for the Pirates.
That's a perfect way to handle that play for Southwestern. Easy double play. So now you have an opportunity to put a goose egg on the board on the Tigers side. But yeah, I mean, for the past couple of years, Cole, in the SCAC tournament, it's been kind of the same batch of teams over and over again. Of course, this year it looks completely different.
Michael Lustina up to the plate, takes a strike. If I'm not mistaken, Trinity will be the only team that's been in the conference tournament the last 2 years that will be making a 3rd consecutive appearance. And they're obviously making a lot more than a 3rd consecutive appearance.
Yeah, they've made it every year that I've been here and several years before that. Of course, the SCAC tournament, one of the most difficult tournaments to win in Division III baseball.
The 1-1. Hit in the air. Lustina. And the catch is made. Didn't know how much room Kulo had first base way, kind of out of our view from the roof. But he had enough to end the inning. First frame that the Tigers are held scoreless. We'll head to the top of the 6th in San Antonio. Trinity up 7-0. Welcome back to Trinity University Ballpark, where the Tigers have a 7-0 lead. Brandon Morio still on the mound for Trinity. He'll face James Vaquero. Thought about swinging, but takes a strike. Vaquero 0 for 2 today, and we mentioned it at the top of the broadcast. Needs 3 hits to get to that 200 mark, and the clock is ticking on the number of ABs he has. If Trinity can put up a few more runs here, this game could be even shorter. Not what he's looking for. Big swing and a miss at that pitch, 0-2.
He's been a consistent presence in the Pirates lineup for the past couple of years. Really solid ball player. I'd love to see him get to 200 because that's a huge milestone.
0-2. Chopper sends it to Chapman at short, makes the throw on the run in time and one away quickly. And we said this yesterday, it was pretty impressive that he's even in a position where he could get to 200 just based on his production over the last few years. Was a well above a 300 hitter in his previous 3 seasons, but his career best was last year at 365. He's up to that to 420. So impressive to even be in this spot where we're discussing getting to 200 hits. Wyatt Kulo now up to the plate with 1 down and nobody on. First pitch misses away, 85 out of the hand of Brandon Morio.
And to be in a position to do that, you have to have some sort of impact for every year you play, which is difficult.
Strike called, outside edge, 1-1. We've also seen him have a very nice day behind the dish, a couple of important blocks. Even if the score hasn't gone in his direction in the season as a whole, he's a hugely important player and successful years for Southwestern, both of the last 2 years making the conference tournament. The 1-1. And strike called. I guess it wasn't a 1-1 like the scoreboard said. Goes down as strike 3 looking.
Yeah, I'll put a K on it. It's been an excellent day for the Tiger pitching staff. They have really produced some turbulent waves for these Pirates.
So Kulo down looking. First 2 batters down in order. Christian Melillo up to the plate. Strike called out of the hand of Morio. Melillo, 2 walks and 2 at-bats. Strike called, 0-2.
I didn't even realize. Now I'm excited. I'm sad he's down 0-2. Look, we can spare a walk here, okay? Pedestrian watch.
Well, no walk here. Hit in the air. Bustina, he's been busy with these types of plays. Makes the catch, and it ends the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Brandon Morio once again. He's had a good day. Bottom of the 6th coming up on Tiger Network. 7-0 Trinity with the lead. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas on the campus of Trinity University. Cam Champness will lead off the inning, the 9-hole hitter, and he'll go against a new pitcher for Southwestern. It's Joshua Werner, the senior from Missouri City, Texas, making his 5th appearance of the year. His first pitch in the zone for strike 1 at 81 miles per hour. Werner with 7 innings pitched and 9 ERA. His last appearance was April the 12th against Austin College. Went 4.2 innings, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, 7 hits, 4 earned runs. Has Champness in an 0-2 hole early in the bottom of the 6th. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and a nice start to the day for Werner.
Yeah, he had troubles just adjusting to the arm slot that the pitch was coming out of. Champness didn't quite know what to do up at the plate. We'll see how Woodward adjusts. The
lineup will flip over. Caleb Woodward up to the plate. 1 for 2 with a base hit and a sacrifice fly, RBI. First pitch misses inside and gets all the way to the backstop. They'll trade baseballs.
That was a smooth trade.
I know. That was interesting. We could get a slow motion replay of that. Might be one to save for future ones. Slow motion replay would be cool. As my executive producer asked in my ear, what did he want? Misses 2-0. So they'll get to work on that. Maybe.
We'll clip that.
Foul ball. Count now, 2-1. Woodward trying to get on with 1 out, nobody on. Strike call, 2-2. And I think we got it. Here it is. Not as smooth, still pretty nice. I was kind of hoping it was going to be simultaneous. Maybe that was a bit much to expect. Ground ball through the hole. Past the dive of Oregon at second. He's had a nice day, but couldn't get to that one. Base hit for Caleb Woodward, his 2nd of the game.
A nice hit up the middle for Woody. Pirates have been strong with their infield defense up the middle, but that one squeaks through. At Trinity, they're trying to put up the runs necessary to where they don't need to bat in the bottom of the 7th.
Maddox McDonald up to the plate, working with 1 on and 1 down in the inning. Here's a high chopper to third. Teff's strong throw in time, and they get McDonald. Woodward will advance to second, but there's 2 down.
Able to get the out. But Woodward gets into scoring position.
It'll bring up Nick Lazera. Lazera 1 for 3 today. He has a single. Reached on an error the last time he was up. 2 down in the inning. Caleb Woodward finds himself on second base. Tigers in a 7-0 lead. Slider finds the zone for strike 1 out of the hand of Werner. Tigers have 8 hits on the day. The Pirates only with 1. Foul ball, chopper to the Trinity dugout, and we'll see a replay here. The play at first. Looks like he was out to me.
Yeah, looks out to me as well. Ball enters the glove just before the footsteps on the bag.
The 0-1. Oh, sharply hit into the Trinity dugout. Everybody ducking, nobody hurt, thankfully. That was one of the closest calls we've seen yet.
Yeah, closest call, and I think the hardest hit ball into the dugout that we've seen this year.
Got to keep your head on a swivel. Everybody alertly ducking. Thankfully, I think it was high enough where they wouldn't need it to anyways, but could have been bad. Nice pick by Vaquero. Keep that from getting behind him. Woodward gets back to second. Now in a 1-2 hole. Two down in the inning. Pirates trying to hold the Tigers scoreless for the second consecutive frame. At strike three, Lazera goes down looking, and he has questions. Will stand there for a second and eventually go back to the dugout as out number 3. Trinity held scoreless in the bottom of the 6th. Final 3 innings coming up next on Tiger Network. Welcome back to San Antonio. We saw Joey Deering arguing something on this play, and we may have an idea of what it was.
Yeah, you can see there the ball off of McDonald's bat actually hits behind home plate. You can kind of see it on this replay. You see the turf sprinkling up. I think the argument is whether that is a foul or fair ball. Of course, this is one of those niche situations where I don't quite remember if you hit it behind the plate and go. I want to say it's foul, but I don't quite remember.
Well, called fair. McDonald thrown out. Trace Oregon up to the plate. Takes the ball in the dirt for ball 1. You're wondering what he was arguing because he was pretty adamant about something. Thought it was the play at first. That looked out from the replay that we showed. It seems like it was it. He thought it was a foul ball, and McDonald should have still been hitting. Mario fires a strike, 84 out of the hand. Well, at least now we know. Doesn't change anything. This is hit in the air to right field. McDonald makes the catch, 1 down.
And we've had several batters go up and ask the home plate umpire questions on their way back to the dugout. So maybe a bit more friendlier to the pitchers today.
Which is interesting because he got nailed by one. So you'd think that that would sour his opinion of this call's pitchers. But hey, call him the way he sees it. Slider finds the zone at 76 from Mario. Working against the middle of the order, Cale Cochran up to the plate. Popped up sky high. Baker calls and makes the catch in fair territory. Quickly 2 down.
It's been a lot of high infield pop-ups today, Cole. I credit to the pitching staff for getting the batters to swing under it, but it's more than in a game than I can really remember this year.
Tanner Teffs up to the plate, the native of Las Vegas, Nevada, out of Bishop Gorman High School. Takes the ball high. Teffs 0 for 2 today. 229 average on the season. Pitch away, 2-0. You talk about all these pop-ups, and it's a pretty tough sky to handle some of these. Overcast for most of the day, but so far haven't had any issues. 2-0 pitch. Popped up onto the roof of the Bell Center. 1, 2, 3, and I lost sight of it. Unconfirmed number of hops. Was not 7, though. Now the 2-1. Strike called. Slider.
A delayed strike call at that. Took a moment.
Popped up foul. This time it'll be out of play, so no harm done. Brandon Morio trying to work his third consecutive 1-2-3 inning.
And Mario's been great again. It has been a complete turnaround to his freshman season.
Chopper could be a tough play for Tinker. Has to make it with the bare hand. Throws not in time, but a nice play nonetheless. Well executed with the pick from Baker. Just not enough time.
Yeah, I think Tefts will take a sigh of relief there. He hit the ground ball slow enough and in such an awkward location that he was going to be safe pretty much no matter what. I think even if Tinker threw that away, it wouldn't be called an error. I think he was running that one out no matter what happened.
Pitch misses inside to the center fielder, Logan Wilson. Trying to avoid the dreaded hat trick. Struck out the last 2 times he was up. Ahead 1-0. Hits one in the air. Right field, McDonald camps under it and makes the catch. So not a 1-2-3 inning for Brandon Morio, but he still puts up another 0. A nice day for him. Tigers will try and walk it off when we come back. 3 runs away from doing it. 7-0, they have the lead. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University, where the Tigers have the 7-0 lead. Nick Jones will lead things off. 1 for 2 today, a base hit. He's also worked a walk. Takes a strike. Jones trying to help and potentially getting the Tigers out of here a little bit early. Maybe a run rule. Southwestern hoping that they can play 9 and maybe come back. Have a 1-1 pitch for Werner. Big swing and a miss, 1-2. Talked a lot about the connections today between J.C. Bunch and the Tigers. And an interesting one is that our executive producer, Josh Muchagemba, currently lives in J.C. Bunch's old house. Foul ball. He was looking at houses and saw some of the photos and saw there was a Trinity jersey hanging up. And he saw it was J.C. Bunch's old number and then realized that, oh, this is Bunch's house. Touring it around, sees some Southwestern gear and says, oh, I guess the job's official. Swing and a miss from Jones. He's gone. First out of the inning, and he still lives there. So, as he just told us in the comms, keeping it in the family.
Yeah, I think Josh has told me that story before for last year's game, for last year's series against Southwestern. Went out and talked to Coach Bunch on the field. He told me that story as we were walking up. Yeah, it's funny.
Strike called to Will Baker. Baker, who's walked the last 2 times he's been up.
It's the most important plate appearance.
The 0-1. misses high, 1-1. One pitch from Werner, misses high. We also just heard from Josh. We want to relay this message that it was his wife's decision to get that house. They were doing whatever she wanted, apparently. He did not have much say, which, you know, makes some sense. That's fair. The 2-1. Foul ball out of play onto the roof of the batting cages, out and left. Count now 2-2. His third walk potentially, and a little bit of limbo and a 2-strike count. Two pitch. Outside, ball 3. Count runs full.
And attention, you can cut it with the knife, Cole. Maybe it's just me up here.
Probably. And out there too, I would assume. But this is important for you. The 3-2. Misses inside. That's ball 4, and that's his third consecutive walk.
It's beautiful, Cole. A pedestrian achieved. Will Baker, he's had a couple this year. He is very patient at the plate. He shows that discipline off. I don't think he's going to get back up to the plate for a potential jaywalker day, but 3 walks in a row. Pedestrian.
And a natural pedestrian. 3 in a row. Kai Tinker will come up to the plate. Base hit the last time he was up. Pitch misses low, 1-0. We've had a lot of different walking terms being used. Pedestrian, jaywalker, no crossing guard yet. That's because the Tigers walk a lot. They lead the nation in walks. Tinker hits one high to right field. Oh, this could be trouble, and it falls in fair territory. Baker will head to second, get there standing up. Goes down as a base hit for Kai Tinker. Very unfortunate for the Pirates.
That Bermuda triangle out in right field. 3 Pirates converging on it, but unfortunately they couldn't reach the X that marked the spot where the ball was going to fall. Tigers get to keep hitting.
If only they had a map.
Who needs a map?
Brandon Nelson up to the plate. He did most of the damage in this game. 4 of the Tigers' 7 runs coming off his grand slam. Takes a pitch high. And you see it again here. This is what blew the game open.
Yeah, he knew it, Cole. You could tell he knew it. Took some time to admire it.
That was his 9th home run of the year. 1-0. Strike called. And another job I have on campus of Trinity University is I also write for the school newspaper, and I don't know if my editors were getting frustrated because I was constantly interviewing him. They like it if we vary the sources, but he kept doing stuff. Like I had to interview him. They'd recap a game against Centenary, and he would hit a big home run, and then against Cortland, he drove in those runs to give him the lead in Game 3. He just comes up with big hits. That's what he does.
Yeah, that's how you make a name for yourself. Keep doing good stuff.
Swing and a miss at that last pitch makes it 1-2. 1 down in the inning. Runners at first and second. Nelson fouls this off opposite field towards the batting cages and the bullpen. For Trinity out and left.
You mentioned we have had more occurrences of pedestrians and jaywalkers. All the walks the Tigers run. More pedestrians in San Antonio in general, because we have Fiesta going on right now.
True. You do Fiesta stuff a lot?
I think, well, what my friends and I usually do is we go to the carnival that happens by the Alamo Dome every year. Just a thing that we made a little bit of a tradition. You know, I like Fiesta in San Antonio. The city gets really into it, so. A lot of people at the airport when I flew back yesterday night.
I can imagine, yeah. 1-2 pitch. Nelson thought about going. They appeal, and he did not. So count even at 2-2.
I didn't realize the reach was beyond San Antonio. I thought it was more of a in the city kind of thing, but
yeah.
No, there was a lot of people coming in.
2-2 to Nelson. Did he go this time? Yes, he did. Don't know about that one. Home plate umpire rings him up. 2 down in the inning.
Yeah, man, unfortunate for Nelson. Very fortunate for the Pirates. I mean, did he hold up? It's a little tough to see from that angle, but
From our angle, it looked like he held up. Pretty similar to the one that was not called the swing, but is called the swing. He strikes out, and it brings up Michael Lustina, who's 1 for 3 today, a .292 hitter on the year with 2 home runs.
I'm more surprised he didn't appeal to the other umpire in the field.
Pitch misses away, 2-0. Lustina with a base hit, a strikeout, and a pop out today. Comes up with 2 on and 2 down in the inning. Thought about throwing back to first. Tinker has to dive back. Going back to our Fiesta conversation, I would love to participate in some of the events. It's just, it happens at literally the worst time as a Trinity student to go and do anything like that. Right before finals? Come on, we got to reschedule this thing.
I think the carnival is the best thing because it's hours in the day. But yeah, it's a little tough being a Trinity student at this point of the year.
Lustina had 3-1. Slider misses away, ball 4. And the bases are filled with Tigers, 2 down in the inning.
Yeah, well worked by Lustina. And I don't know how finals and things are shaping up for you, Cole, but I am almost in the clear.
I was going to say, it can't be that hard for you, this being your final semester.
And no, I've had it's a lot of papers really that have been in the middle of the semester. So I'm kind of happy about that in hindsight.
Chapman up to the plate, takes a strike. 0 for 3 today, still maintains a .313 average on the year. Has reached by way of an error in this game. Hacks at that one, 0-2. How far along are you in our presentation in class that we're in together?
That is a confidential information.
Big swing and a miss from Chapman. He strikes out, and the Tigers leave the bases loaded. 3rd consecutive inning they've been held off the scoreboard as we head to the top of the 8th. 7-0, Trinity with the lead. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. We're here for the top of the 8th inning. Brandon Morio still on the mound for the Tigers, who have a 7-0 lead. They built in the 4th inning and have not relinquished. First pitch misses to a 9-hole hitter, Ben Foyer. Foyer 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts today, 1 to second, 1 to first. This is a slow chopper to first. Baker will take the trip himself and quickly 1 away.
Yeah, Mario's kind of been mowing through these Pirate bats. He hasn't had too much traffic on the base paths for himself. Pirates are struggling to try and get any solid contact off of him.
Only 2 hits given up by Trinity pitching today. And if my scorecard is correct, only 3 walks handed out as well, so 5 total base runners. Now working against the top of the Southwestern order, Connor Duffy, the designated hitter. 0 for 2 with a walk. Pitch misses high, 2-0. Chopper foul. Count now 2-1.
I don't know what it is today with Trinity pitching, but a lot of Pirates have swung under, way under, a lot of balls today.
Breaking ball misses for Morio, 3-1.
I guess they saw something in film that they could take advantage of.
Maybe. 3-1 finds the zone. We talked a lot about the coaching matchup today. 2 guys that clearly know what they're doing. Three-two pitch. Finds the zone, that's strike 3. Duffy goes looking, and there's 2 away.
And Morio realized he got that strike call on that lower away corner, so he went back to it, pretty much the exact same pitch. And he gets the home plate umpire to ring him up. I think very smart by Morio.
So 2 out, nobody on. James Vaquero up to the plate. First pitch from Morio misses high. 2 down, so I want to get this story in quickly. It's J.C. Bunch talking about the lessons he learned from Coach Scannell, and one of them was to have your kids around the clubhouse, and that's okay, because Scannell's kids were around there when J.C. Bunch was playing, and it created a fun environment, and now Bunch is in a stage of his life where he has his kids around the dugout, and it creates a fun environment. Most of all, what he said is you can't sacrifice family time if you have to do the job. You want to spend time with your family as well, there's a way to do both, and that's one of the biggest lessons he learned from Scannell. Pitch misses in the dirt, 2-1.
I think it's an important thing to a team's atmosphere too. And very rarely does a team win the World Series with a super serious, not fun atmosphere. I think that 2016 team had a lot of fun on the way to winning.
Swing and a miss from Vaquero, count evens at 2-2. Still looking for those 3 hits to get to the 200 mark. Unlikely that he would come up again in this game, so this at bat pretty important, and he'll call time.
He's really trying to focus in here. He needs his jersey number in hits right now. I think 1 today, getting a 2-hit day tomorrow, I think is way more likely than getting a 3-hit day.
Trying to get 1 here. Southwestern has been held to 2 hits on the day. Misses inside, 3-2.
The important thing for Vaquero is if he throws you another ball, don't swing at it. Don't try to go for the record. Try to put your team in a position to win.
Hit in the air, shallow center, Woodward charging in, and it falls in front of him, so there is a hit. Now only 2 away from number 200.
Woodward decides to exercise some patience out in center field, not try and make a diving attempt at a play. Have it go behind him. You're up by 7 at this point. I think very reasonable. Yeah, Vaquero gets the hit.
Puts him in a much better spot for tomorrow's game, only needing 2. White Kulo. It's a sharp ground ball. Throw to second in time. They go the short way to end the inning. So Vaquero gets his hit. He's only 2 away from number 200 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. On the campus of Trinity University. You're watching the Tiger Network. Welcome back to San Antonio, bottom of the 8th on the campus of Trinity University. Caleb Woodward will lead off the inning. Gets out of the way of a pitch inside. Tigers up 7-0. They've out-hit the Pirates 9-3 so far today. A couple innings away from securing a series victory. They'll go for the sweep tomorrow. First pitch at noon. It'll be Senior Sunday for the Tigers.
Yeah, they got a lot of runs early on. I guess they kind of cooled down a little bit. I mean, they put guys on base still. It's just scoring them has been the trouble.
Ground ball to short. Boyer makes the throw from the outfield grass. Not in time, though. Woodward able to beat it out. His third hit of the game.
Yeah, barring an incredible throw from Foyer, I think Woodward was going to be safe all the way. Shows off his speed there. I mean, a different player might not be able to leg that one out.
Pinch hitter for Maddox McDonald. It'll be Thomas Moss. So McDonald's day is done. 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Got hit by a pitch. Thomas Moss, the first year. Take strike one. Moss, a .350 hitter on the season when he's entered the game, and he'll improve that average as he stings one into right field. Woodward going first to third. Aggressive base running will pay off. They try to get Moss back at first, but he's back safely. Base hit, runners at the corners for the Tigers with nobody out.
That's what you want out of Moss. I like it how the Pirates go to the unexpected base rather than throwing it to third. They try to get Moss out at first, and he kind of fell into first base, getting back. A great piece of hitting from Moss.
And it will have a pinch runner, so that'll be the day for Moss. One at bat, one hit, pretty good. Evan Kuhl will come into the game. Checks in at first. Nick Lazera up to the plate will not be pinch hit for. 1 for 4. He struck out twice looking. He singled. He's also reached on an error.
And Kuhl gets to hang with Kulo over at first.
First pitch to Lazera inside. Both spelled K-U-H as well. Bottom of the 8th, runners at the corners, still nobody out. Werner throws back to first. Moss had a solid lead, gets back safely. Excuse me, Kuhl.
It's a very fickle situation right now, Cole. No outs on the board. I think that is step one. You need to get an out.
Pitch outside, 2-0 to Lazera, and you wonder how aggressive they're going to be with him, even if it will load the bases. There is a pinch hitter on deck for Nick Jones. Max Milligan waiting to come up to bat. Pitch misses again, and it's 3-0. Danger of loading the bases, and at this point, wonder if they're going to give him anything to hit.
I mean, at this point, I'm not sure. You take your chances and walk the bases loaded with no outs.
Foul ball. He was swinging 3-0. Count now 3-1.
Because if there's one out on the board, I think the decision's a bit easier. I think you just put them on and try and get a double play. When there's no outs, it's a lot tougher.
Ground ball through the hole in right, and that'll score Woodward from third. Kuhl racing to third. He will replace Woodward. And Trinity extends the lead. It's 8-0 off the RBI single.
Now that pitch kind of on the inside corner, but Lazera, he pulls it into right. That's what you want out of him. And now things are just continuing to roll for the Tigers.
We have another pinch runner. Unclear who that was. It looks like it's Jarrett Phillips. So Phillips ready to go. Also going on with Southwestern. And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change. So with that, we'll take a break in San Antonio. Runners at the corners, 8-0. Trinity has the lead in the bottom of the 8th when we come back. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. New pitcher on the mound for Southwestern. It's Trace Organ. You see his pitching numbers on the season. He's pitched 6 1/3 innings, 10 strikeouts, 3 walks, whip just a bit over 1 at 1.89. He'll face Max Milligan, a pinch hitter for Nick Jones. Pitch misses inside. So Oregon was playing second base through the entirety of the series. The catcher, James Vaccaro, will move over to second. And Lucas Marlowe will come in to catch for Southwestern. Milligan swings at that, and it's 1-1.
There's some interesting changes. I think the Tigers goal is the same, though, no matter who's on the mound.
Pitch misses inside. Count now 2-1. Trinity with 3 consecutive base hits in this inning. Chasing Joshua Werner, who was on the mound to begin it. They have added another run, 8-0. Breaking ball misses outside as Oregon struggling to find the zone so far. Now in a 3-1 count, danger of walking the bases loaded. Big swing and a foul tip into the glove of Marlowe.
He took a moment to find where the ball was after that. I think
No advancement from anybody.
Marlowe looked back at the umpire saying, "Do you have it?" And the umpire said, "I thought you had it."
Pitch from Morgan, 3-1. Fouled off, out of play. And it'll be a souvenir if anybody wants to go get it. Looks like a kid will. We had one last night that landed pretty much right on the bleachers, right next to somebody. Somebody picked it up and like, oh, look what I found. Now the 3-2 to Milligan. This is hit in the air to shallow center. Wilson comes in, makes the catch at the top of the logo, makes a strong throw, but it will not be in time. Try to throw a second to get Phillips, who advances. The run scores, and it's 9-0 Tigers on the sacrifice fly.
Yeah, another example of good base running from the Tigers, Cole. Tag up. Jared Phillips knew on first base they were going to try and throw it home. They didn't cut off the throw this time, which I thought they would do, but that time they tried to get him out at home. It was shallow enough to where the throw was possible, so it's understandable.
That's Evan Kuhl scoring the run. Will Baker up to the plate, 0 for 1 today, 368 average. He has walked his last 3 times up. Ground ball to second. Vaquero makes the throw in time. And what a special thing we have here. Trajan Lee is going to swing the bat. So the special guest makes another appearance, this time in the batter's box for his first career at bat.
What?
And it can walk it off, too. Works with the runner on third. First pitch in the dirt. Oh, this is unbelievable.
I wonder if they're telling Jared Phillips, don't go if it goes behind him. Let him have his moment.
Chopper foul, and the dugout goes crazy for it.
I want to point out that everyone has their hats on in front of them in the dugout.
Yeah, I don't know what that's for, but opportunity for Trajan Lee, the 1-1, big swing and a miss. He fans at it.
Man, Cole, I don't know that swing, that was a good looking swing. We could maybe see him go deep.
The 1-2. Called strike 3. He goes back to the dugout without a swing to end the inning. So a little bit anticlimactic, but it was fun to see him in the batter's box. Trinity adds on 2 more runs. It's 9-0 as we head to the top of the 9th. Southwestern down to their final 3 outs when we come back. Welcome back to San Antonio. New pitcher on the mound for the Tigers. It's Jack Breezy who comes into the game. Trying to get the final 3 outs of this one, up 9-0. New third baseman is not Trajan Lee, who pinched in for Kai Tinker. It will be Grant Anderson. Strike called. Breezy working against Christian Malillo. Strike called, 1-2. Malillo 0 for 1. He has worked 2 walks in this game. Slider just misses, 2-2.
I think Trajan Lee's at-bat's probably going to be the most memorable part. Maybe of the series. I'm not sure. That was...
This is roped out to center field. Woodward dives! Makes the catch!
Oh, that was an incredible goal. That was a tough play to make for Woodward, but you see him sprinting in. He dives. That was incredible, but it's almost expected from Woodward at this point. He's made so many highlight reel plays like that we look at that, it's like, wow, that was a Caleb Woodward tailored play.
Trace Organ still batting, even though he's pitching as well. Takes a strike. Organ, a 301 hitter on the year. 1 for 3 today, a single. Fouled off the end of the bat into the screen. Quickly 0-2 against Breezy. Numbers for Jack Breezy on the season, a 3.86 ERA. His last appearance, 3 innings pitched against the University of St. Thomas. Swing and a miss. That's strike 3 for strikeout of the outing for Jack Breezy.
I think they should have kept Trajan Lee out there at third. I would have loved to see that too.
That would have been fun. The at-bat was fun, but we wanted a little more. Very unfortunate that he got rung up. That was not what any of us were hoping for. So a couple more defensive substitutions to note for Trinity. John Ramsey taking over at shortstop. Matthias Writing is now the catcher. Pitch in the dirt. Writing able to block it. The batter is Cale Cochran for Southwestern. Max Milligan out there in right field. Evan Kuhl out there in left. Strike thrown by Breezy. Count 2-1. Southwestern down to their final out. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Went around and that's strike 3, and that's the ball game. Trinity wins 9-0, a shutout in game 2, and they have taken the series against Southwestern.
I think, Cole, the main thing that I'm taking away from this game is that Trinity just straight up won it. At no point did it feel like Southwestern was even threatening to even really score in this game. I'm trying to think of a time they even got a player to third base. Tiger pitching did an excellent job shutting down the Pirates and marooning them on the base paths, but the Tiger bats, they blasted and blasted, and they sank the Pirate ship in this one for sure.
Trinity wins 9-0. That's the final score. The winning pitcher in this one will be Brandon Morio. Silas Jones takes the loss for the Buccos as they have dropped this series. Game 3 tomorrow, where the Tigers will try and clinch the sweep. That'll be senior day. First pitch will be at noon. We hope you all tune in for that one. For everybody here in San Antonio working behind the scenes, both in the control room and behind the camera. And for my partner, Reed Rosales, I'm Cole Isaacson saying so long from San Antonio. We'll see you tomorrow for Game 3.